This is Todd. He's my Eastern American male toad. He's a sweetheart. And not recommended that you handle toads, but I will handle him for you. Gotta be very gentle. You don't want to scare them. Move his log over here. Hey, buddy. Toads don't give you warts, so don't worry. Most of them are incredibly harmless unless ingested, in which if you see those two little bumps, they can secrete. Those are called their parotid glands. They secrete a poison. So you don't want to squeeze their head. Otherwise, they will release, or at least try to release, that poisonous. It isn't usually deadly, but it is not fun. It's not tasty or fun. Todd's usually very good. He's a bit shy, though. You can tell the difference between a male and a female toad fairly easily, but it always depends on the age. He is about 3 years old. He should get a little bigger. He's reached mature sexual age. And if you look under his throat, you can see that it is black. Let me just get him up for you. Todd, it's okay, boy. It's okay. Males also tend to chirp. Females don't. You can see the black under his throat. He's a male. There you go, buddy. Females are also a lot bigger and don't chirp often. Oops, sorry, mate. If you want to have a toad as a pet, there are a few things that you will need. First thing is a temperature gauge, and that also doubles as a humidity gauge, which is recommended and most likely needed. There you go, Todd. A heater, whether it be an underside heater, which is what I have, that goes underneath the tank and heats up the bottom underneath his log. You're going to want a hiding spot for them. A 20-gallon tank if you're carrying a smaller toad, like I am. A pond and a plant. You can have a feeding bowl, but they tend not to use it. The ground for mine is wood chips. It is very good because it absorbs a lot of water. For toads that live in moderate environments, you're going to want the humidity to be around 50, 60. It's fine if you want to keep it semi-tropical, but they're not used to semi-tropical, but it's recommended 50, 60. The water you're going to want to clean at least once a day. A rock is usually very good to put in, and the amount of water should only cover half of their body. They will go in the middle of the night usually. A little pond is usually very good for them. The plant is so they feel more at home. You could also put moss in. It isn't recommended to use outdoor moss because then they could carry parasites and stuff that they don't want to be around. You can leave the light on in the day, but they're not really going to be active during the day because they are nocturnal. And the amount of heat you're going to want is only about here. You don't want it much higher than this because then they could overheat. They also like to stay in their heater, so they tend to stay right there. In a 20-gallon tank, you should only hold a max of 2 toads. In April, I should get another toad because I am going to be searching for a tank mate for him. If you do have a second toad, you will want to put a second log or a second hiding spot in here, which is recommended. You don't need to get a second heater. They usually do share one heater. And toads are very good pets. They're very chill. They're easy to care for. You should only the size of the crickets you're going to want to feed them is dependent on the size between their eyes. That should be enough for them. For Todd, I only feed him up to 8 crickets, 8 medium crickets, around like a week or two. Mealworms are alright, but they're full of chitin, which isn't really good for them. So you only want to give them mealworms as a slight snack. You're also going to want a spray bottle that will help you keep the humidity normal. And a pair of feeding tongs, because it is not recommended to pick up their food with your bare hands. Eastern American toads are very good. They aren't necessarily toxic. They're very chill, they're nice, and they're very shy. That's the only thing. In the middle of the night, you're going to want to turn off the light. LEDs are the best. Mine is just a standard fish tank that I bought. And one of these is helpful for giving them their food. And yeah, it's Todd.